What's going on, duelists? Welcome to week 13, the final week in the regular season of Edison format War League. I'm the thePokeRapper of Team X, and unfortunately, we lost this week 3-1. I'm the fifth match, and that is leaving us at 7-5 overall for the season. So I think the team is overall it feels like a letdown, right? We still have some playoff contention, I think, depending on how one other team or two other teams do. I think we may be able to edge them out, but I think I will make an entire regular season or an entire War League wrap-up video going over everything, or at least the regular season, pretty soon. Right now, I just want to focus on this match. I am 9-2 currently. My team, regardless of what's happened throughout the entirety of this season, it has been an absolute pleasure being on a team with you guys and playing, going to battle every week with you all. And that's the most important thing, is that we made some new friends and had a lot of good talks, a lot of good discussions about Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's the most important thing. Hopefully we just had fun and learned a lot and have all gotten better from this. I know I definitely have. So here I am with my favorite deck. Took it to locals a few days ago, went undefeated with it, 3-0. Pretty small, only like 9 or 10 people, but I didn't lose a game, so I went like 6-0 in games, 3-0 in matches. And now I'm getting to the point with this deck where like I've been experimenting with other stuff, with Black Wings and Heroes and Diva Hero and stuff, but there's in my head, like, now I'm getting the confidence back with this deck where I'm like, even though like all decks it can draw kind of funny, I think this deck gives me the best chance to win right now where the format is. I think other decks are very good and I could probably win with a bunch of decks, I think, if I practiced with them, but obviously I feel like I know this deck almost inside and out. I think there's still more things for me to learn with side decking, and that's what I've really been trying to focus on. But I feel good about picking up this deck every week and using it in War League, and all the other stuff has really reinforced that. And even though I've been sort of straying away and trying to familiarize myself with other stuff and more in depth, I'm definitely very confident in this deck again. Not like I ever really lost confidence in it. I just needed a little refresher to see if I would want to try something else and start using it more, or if I'd come back to this, and here we are. I still just want to be on this deck. I think it's a deck that doesn't care so much about going second, because you still have Soul Exchange and Substitutes and Monarchs, and it beats the set monsters, it gets around the back rows, it deals with attack monsters. Like, it has outs and little tricks for everything, and I feel like this is my kind of deck. It's control, but it could also just, I feel like I've won so many games, and we'll probably recap this. My opponent just attacks, I drop Gores, next turn I Diva for Bryo or drop a Monarch, and it's basically game. So this deck really punishes misplays or unprepared plays, and yeah, I can't say enough good about it, and I'll probably do another deck profile on it soon. Anyway, my opponent this week is, and I know I'm going to butcher this, Azarotheuiop. They are 2-2, and their past two games, I believe, have both been wins coming off of Junk Hero Frog. And I'm expecting them to play that. And I watched their replays, and they play Dust Shoot and Torrential, and those are two cards that are obviously very good. Definitely terrified of Torrential in this deck, so we're going to have to play very accordingly. Solid player, patient, and it's going to be an interesting game, and I think it could go either way, and I'm going to try my absolute best to make sure that it goes our way. They went, out of their 4 matches in RPS, they went Scissors, Paper, Paper, Paper. So I think Scissors covers both of those. I also think they may switch it up if they watch these videos and know that I study that, but who knows, right? I mean, they get like 100 views, so I'm going to say they probably don't watch it. So, alright, I'm going to message my opponent, and I hope you guys enjoy the final regular season match of Edison War League. Alrighty, guys. So they do switch it up and go to rock. It's very weird if they are playing... Oh, look at this hand. If they are playing frogs, it's... I was testing last night in the mirror match, and sometimes it's weird going first because you go summon, swap, send Treeborn, bounce back. Then your opponent does the same thing, and then you don't want to have anything on your next turn going first. So you kind of, like, have to, like, commit a card to the field that you don't really want to sometimes. Oh, hits me with the dust shoot, but I got nothing for him. Alright, so we get the plus back off of Stratos. I think it's safe to set Mirror Force. I don't really want to use Mirror Force, but I'm still going to set it. And that's great. That is great going second after they summon Stratos, set Dust Shoot, and there's nothing they could hit. Now we need to draw any monster so we could make some nice plays. Squad joining us. They know everything we have, so... Yeah, I feel like right there he probably should bounce the Stratos back with Swap Frog first. So he plays a little aggressively, and that's going to result in us getting a +1. And we draw the boy. The boy, the boy, the boy, the boy, the boy. The absolute boy. I think we want to send, if we send sub, then we could salvage back 2 subs, which is pretty good, and then keep 1 in hand to get the complete combo, but I feel like our cards are not going to stick, but that's definitely what we want to do. We don't want a Moray just yet. Oh, that's what we needed to start cooking, boy. One for one's gone, so we're in a little bit of trouble if we attack here and they have Gorge, right? Because then if they have Treeborn next turn and a Monarch to get around Duplock and we threatening, then if they have another one the following turn after we threatening Roar and we substitute soft Duplock, I feel like we need the race, right? We need to start going for damage, and they also play Fader. Could be a big misplay, but I don't think it's that big of a misplay. They gotta have it all. They gotta have it all. Alright, so this works out nice because now next turn we could summon and get our complete board. So I'm actually not going to set anything if they have Econ. They may have Econ. Econ's rough with Treeborn, right? They're just going to take us out. But I can't set anything because we need Treeborn to come back. Or if they break this whole board and we get another water monster, we may just have to Moray and hope to get a Monarch. But what they're doing right now, taking their time debating if they want to bring back Treeborn, I'm going to say it's less of an Econ play and more of a I don't have a way to get around this dupe block right now, so I'm not sure if it's worth putting Treeborn Frog on the field. If they don't put it on the field, if they don't do anything crazy and we get Unifrog and Flip-Flop going, then I think we're in a pretty good spot. Although I do want Mori to be live because I really want to start, monarching them and doing things. They also just could have Miracle Fusions too, which is already very live. Very, very scary deck. Yet they do have the brain. They know everything we have still. Yeah, and they're just going for it straight up. It's going to be at 35, so I'm going to take... Yeah. Now, I like to get Flip-Flop here because Flip-Flop's a really good answer for 0, but if they have another Monarch, then we're in a little bit of trouble. Do I need swap? It's gonna go back in the deck and I'm gonna have swap. Yeah. I do want the swap. Alright, so I think now we need a Monarch or a Diva desperately, right? As much as I want to do Substitute Unifry, it's just like... I think this is the time we start drawing cards, right? Unless we Substitute, Tribute Treeborn, Unifrog. No, it just doesn't really answer the questions, though. About to draw Unifrog. Alright, that's fine. That's really good, actually. It's one water monster for the next one. Fortunately, he has 2 heroes and 2 water monsters. But he only has 1 Treeborn and Grave. But I still think these are the threats that we need to deal with, right? I'll play this extremely properly. Another Miracle Fusion's pretty rough. Alright, so still an even game. Well, we have 3 to their 4. We both have frogs, right? But theirs is active. Now, they could play another Miracle Fusion, summon, attack for game, and I think we kind of have to let that happen. Do we want to set this threatening now? Because what can they really do if they have more frogs? If they have Miracle, then we're tight, but... I think I'd rather use the Roar to protect myself. If they could Miracle and have more frogs and game me right now, then I have to live with that. I think, I hate to say it, but I feel like one Miracle's gone, Stratos and Malicious Edge are gone, so they have maybe Monarchs, And there's no reason, for me to do this when I could draw another Monarch next turn and remove this or put it on top and then run over this. If they set Econ or anything. Yeah, that's not exactly what we wanted, but it is very, very good because it's a water monster. Oh, I have to show them. Alright, now we need something really good. Caius or Ryza, ideally. Oh, those are so bad. All those cards are not good. I'm at 25. Yeah, those are not the cards you want to draw. What was I going to do? Tribute for Mobius and just whack this, and next turn they put it back on top? Or remove it and attack, and then I draw, and I have to bang out and set Threatening Roar, and I think we're in a pretty ugly spot. If I Braden this right now, yeah, we're not in a good spot. We are not in a good spot. I could protect myself for a turn, right? So hopefully they heavier force the back row now. And or really what we want to see is a Monarch, right? But we're gonna have to buy ourselves a couple turns right now. And that is one way of doing it, I think. Do we want to substitute, remove the alias? Or do we just want to get 2 dupes? 2 dupes seems pretty bad, right? Because he's just going to Monarch one of them and then we lose. Yeah, Diva would have been a good card, but I think they just have a lot of outs. I hate to say it, in their hand. They know we have Threatening Roar set, and they really can just take their time with their Econs and their Monarchs, and I am sitting on heavy and MST, so game 1 is a little rough. I think the best thing we could do is this. We want Substitute in the hand, and do we want... I think Swap is our other option. They may have Faders and Gores too, it's always a possibility. I smack them for 100. No, I think we play it a little safer than that. At this point in the game, we're not looking too good. I don't want to leave this in attack mode. It's not worth the 400, so I have to Threatening Roar next turn. I'm just going to do this. I don't think it's worth leaving in attack mode. Now if they have a Monarch or something, I mean, yeah, we're still not looking great. The Monarch really eats us up, depending on if it's Ryza. We don't want to be set back a turn. Yeah, that's okay. Alright, so this opens up the Tribute for Gore's play next turn. Tough game. Tough game. Yeah, heavy MST just getting us nowhere. I think Econ's gonna do it if they show it. Yeah. That's just the power of that deck. It's very, very good with, do I even want to put deck heavies in? I didn't see any junks. They have to have junks in there, right? Yeah, we want to put that in. Well, that's pretty much what I was thinking about this entire time. MST we still want. 1-for-1 we still want. No, MST is what we want in the main deck. I almost want to splash in a DD Crow. I'm a little worried about the Vanity's Fiends. I feel like I have too many Monarchs. But yeah, I was worried about this specifically, because that deck is just so good, and it just has a high ceiling, and he held his cards properly, and yeah, it was played well. I feel like there wasn't a ton I could do differently that game. There were a few things maybe I could have done, but ultimately I feel like they just drew well and they played well, and that is what it is, I guess. Now, is there anything else I want to put in, like a Threatening Roar to potentially live the Fiends? Do I want to keep this in? They have Torrential and Dust Shoot. I don't think that is a good card to leave in. I'm going to regret that if I leave MST in, I think, even though I know they're putting in traps, and I'm taking a beating from my own way, but alright, we drew Super Poly, which is really cool. I haven't used it in this match yet, so I'm very excited to try Super Poly. Yes, that's the bad part about going first. Like, if I dropped Gores right now, it'd be insane, but I don't, so now I'm kind of just awkwardly looking at this hand like, alright, what do I do with this, you know? Could summon Dupe. No, we don't want to do that. I don't want to set Mirror Force either, to tell you the truth, but I need my Moris to be alive, even though I sided one of them out. I don't want to start going crazy with dupes. Tough game. Tough game. It's absolutely worth it to take the 100, but then we can't. Well, they have to bounce a card back to their hand, right? Yeah, I'm not That is insane to even think about that. But I feel like they're going to bounce Swap Frog back, set a back row. They bounce Treeborn back, set a back row. Alright, we draw a good card. Soul exchanging here does not seem like the play. I feel like Diva's the play. I also don't want to play into this if I don't have to. Could be an econ. Drageki break, sure. Needs to leave his Diva on the field. Now we're still not looking great. I don't think we want to set Super Poly until they summon a Stratos or something. Yeah, I think we just have to end and let them, I think they might even Kai's the back row if they do it, which is unfortunate. If they bring back Treeborn and Tribute. They may not, they may just attack. We went first, we have 8 to their 7. We both have Treeborn live. So, like, I feel like I'm in a decent spot, but the way this mirror match is so interesting. Interesting mirror match. Like, if they hit this back row right now, we're in trouble. But Soul Exchange Kai, this is looking really good on do block. Yeah, Mori would be really nice. Having Treeborn and Dupe in hand right now against his deck when it could be Vanity's Fiend and such to protect myself just seem like... But that's, you know, you're playing cards like Dupe Frog, it's like... I mean, I think Dupe Frog is way better than Mally, but it's like playing cards like Mally where you're going to draw them. You're playing cards like Treeborn, it's the best card in the graveyard, like of all time, but it's not always going to be in the graveyard. But there are very easy ways to manipulate that and such. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, I think we just... If we force here... Yeah, I'm gonna force here. Not my favorite play, but... But we're drawing good cards. And we can make Dark End for Gores, but that's not great. I guess we could make Colossal. I definitely just want to Kai's this and then pitch for Swap Frog and bounce stuff back. Now, do we want the Diva back, or do we want the Caius back? I think Caius is always good with Soul Exchange, right? Now, we don't want to be drawing another Swap Frog next turn. Gives them something to think about. Now, I do not want to give them... If I attack with this and put them at 34, 34 is very good. 34 is getting us close. We don't have any crazy outs to Gores, though. But are we going to not attack? Yeah, then just bounce back Caius and leave a Diva and a Swap Frog on the field? That seems insane. They have Treeborn anyway. Yeah, I figured they probably didn't have it. But 34 is a good number, so... Do I want to arm right here? There's really not a big reason to, but if he... I guess they just start going for damage if they Treeborn Frog. Tribute for a Monarch swing. It's not great. Rather than hit me directly. Very weird play. Very weird play. 1200 defense. Alright, the finish line is here. They have 34. We have a Caius. You know what happens to a Dark Monster? It gets us there. I don't think they're going to put a Dark Monster on the field. No way in hell. Checking the extra deck. Might be... yeah, I'm never setting Super Poly in this situation. They could have Fader too. They're just like, alright, the game might not be over. They have 6 strong cards. They're checking the extra. They're seeing what they could do with Econ and such and such. It's a scary game. It's a scary situation. We went first. We have 6 to their 6. It's very even. We're winning on life, but yeah, I just feel like the card difference right now is pretty big. I really just need a Vanity's Fiend. If they like do a bunch of crazy stuff and I could Super Poly and make a 0 and clear their 0 and then both boards are clear. But then I can't Soul Exchange Vanity's Fiend. Yeah, Vanity's Fiend is a card we really want, but with open boards, it's just not. It's a tough game. This is a tough one. Thought Soul Exchange, I thought this was going to be more of a Vanity's Fiend war, but it hasn't turned out to be that. Makes me wonder if I want to keep in 2 or 3 if we make it to game 3. And that's all true. He is in a hard position. There are many cards we could draw next turn that are good, and there are many cards we could draw next turn that are bad. I'm nervous. Alright, so they're doing a lot of stuff right now. They are doing a lot of stuff right now. I don't think it's game, which is great. They're going to smack us for a lot. Yep. And that is gain attack equal to the total attack of all level 2, so that's, yeah. Wow, I got busted up. This card's crazy. Yeah, there it is next. Wow, he had Junk Warrior, man. That was rough. I wasn't really reading Junk Warrior, but we just had such awkward cards. Maybe that deck doesn't side Vanity's Fiend the way I thought it was gonna, but I really thought if we didn't put in that Soul Exchange, what would we have hidden? What would we have put in its place? There would have been one more card in the main deck. I gotta check now. Because that was rough. We just got killed. We just got 2-0'd real bad. We sided out Unifrog, Moray, Mobius, Heavy, MST, I think Threatening, and we put in Super Poly, Soul Exchange, Vanity, Double Decked Heavy, no DD Crows. So maybe I probably would have left MST in, but that's probably a mistake and doesn't really help us. We actually draw Super Poly, and they didn't have a hero at all, which is nuts. So this card was dead, and both Soul Exchanges were dead. So I had so many dead cards, and that just ultimately led to game. I mean, those cards could have been other dead cards, and when you have an open board and no faders in the main deck and only Gores as your protection, it's, yeah, I don't know what we could have done differently. I think it all, like, that's my biggest thing, what I'm trying to harp on right now, is just side deck properly. Like, maybe put in the 2 Crows. Man, Super Poly and Soul Exchange were just... This match always comes down to just Vanity's Fiend, the Vanity's Fiend mirror. And if you could out their Vanity's Fiend and get your own, then you win. And if you can't, then you lose most of the time. So that's what I thought it was going to come down to. And most of the time it does. So I still don't know moving forward if these, you know, just so versatile. That is one deck that I am very afraid of in terms of Frog decks. Besides the Stalos and the main deck of Frog Monarchs, that is one that I am very afraid of, just because my least favorite turn 1 card to see is Stratos and Swap Frog. Those are my 2, and that deck plays both. and Miracle Fusion's so good. That's just with triple Econ and Brainiac. It's a scary, scary deck. And I had a feeling that it may go this way this morning, but I didn't think it was going to go like that extreme. But, man, Junk Warrior just, like, packed me up pretty good. That sucks. Alright, so 1-4 on the week for us, leaving us at 7-5 on the season. Not sure if we're going to squeeze in the playoffs, but I will have a wrap-up video of the entire league, or the entire season coming soon. I finish at 9-3. I'm not sure where that puts me in terms of qualifying for any tournament or anything, but I guess I'll keep you guys posted with all of that. Thank you so much for watching. Good luck in all your matches. Thank you for all the feedback and commenting on the plays and the subs and the support. You guys have been very, very good to me with all that stuff. And, sorry, my cat just came in. I thought she was going to say hi at the end of the video. But, again, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.